Population control in a bite. The world is getting crazier. The world is getting crazier. And I want to speak to you, especially in, can I claim you? The spiritually deficient Negroes that are in our midst, who don't care to read about anything, who don't care to think of anything other than hedonistic pleasures or gossiping about your next door neighbor, trying to figure out who is sleeping with who in the church. It's always that way. Maybe one or two of you will get it, okay? Now, you know this is YouTube. And with YouTube, you can't say certain things. On YouTube, there is no freedom of speech. You know that. I'm the bad boy of YouTube. I've always gotten thrown in jail, but nobody ever said what I said was a lie. But in order to stay on this particular platform, which I am on Lancescurv.com, and if you look up and pinned on top of the chat room, you'll see an article that I'm about to read if you want to read along or if you want to catch this later on. I'm not going to read the whole thing. There's a couple points that I wanted to bring to your attention, and I wanted to add on a thought, which I'm pretty much going to add that thought in early on, because many people don't stay around. There's too much booty shaking, too much gossip on the Diddyisms and who's sleeping with who, and the one that I coined, what is it, the Nigga News Network. Those channels are very interesting to the low vibrational people who really don't want to think about what's happening in our midst and how the walls are closing in on us, not just black people, but everybody. They don't knock me for saying that, because there are many people who are more aware about what can happen to us than look like us. Honestly, Tucker Carlson's one of them. There's a few, Joe Rogan. I'm not saying they're concerned. They're speaking about the overall scams and technologies going on over the population globally. But we seem to get it first. We are the guinea pigs. We are the ones that don't question anything. And I dare anybody to even say that what I'm saying is wrong. Seriously, I'm not self-righteous, and I don't think I'm right on everything. Recently, I have to choose my words carefully. Recently, because they'll say it's false information. You know what? I'm not even going to say what I saw in the other video, because if that other video that was supposed to be from an official news platform is wrong or off, and they have to apologize later, I'm repeating what they said, and I'm not going to do that. This is all me basically saying this, right? So I'm going to read off a couple of paragraphs quick to put you where you need to be to understand this thing, right? In recent years, the scientific community has seen groundbreaking advancements in genetic engineering, one of which is the development of genetically modified organisms, GMOs. Among these, GMO mosquitoes have emerged as a controversial innovation, especially with significant funding and support from figures like, can I say his name, who runs Microsoft and owns Microsoft? I'm not going to say his name. When you say his name, your videos sometimes get flagged when you look like me. You know who it is, the notorious BG, okay? These genetically altered mosquitoes were designed to combat the spread of deadly diseases by targeting and eliminating specific female mosquito populations responsible for transmitting illnesses such as malaria, which I had back in 2019. It's not a nice thing. Dengue and Zika virus. While the intention behind this initiative is to reduce the prevalence of these diseases, it also raises significant concerns and ethical questions. The primary aim of GMO mosquitoes is to reduce the population of disease-carrying mosquitoes. This is achieved by releasing genetically modified male mosquitoes into the wild, which then mate with wild females, like many of you are going to do at the club later on tonight. The offspring produced from these unions inherit a gene that either kills them before reaching maturity or makes them incapable of reproducing. Let me freeze it right there. The offspring produced from these unions inherit a gene that either kills them before reaching maturity or makes them incapable of reproducing. makes them incapable of reproducing. Let's take that away from the mosquitoes right now and that notorious BG Microsoft. I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories out here and a lot of falsehoods out here, but the man ain't no doctor, but he's funding all of this stuff, right? Didn't we hear, and I'll say it could be a rumor, it's possibly a rumor. I have to say this several times because the police are always looking at me. I think it's a rumor, maybe not. We have to find out. But I heard that in Kenya, this might be a rumor, that certain things were given to the population. Hold that thought. Now let's tack on what I said. Before reaching maturity or makes them incapable of reproducing. See, they will want to be high and mighty in the good stuff that they put out there to the media. But these people are underhanded, and that's my opinion, and nobody can say anything about it. That's how I feel, that some people are underhanded. If you doubt me, well, the jails and prisons are full, right? Don't they have underhanded people who lie and cheat and steal? Do they have everybody who lies and cheats and steals in the prison, in the jail? No. Some of them have lots of influence and lots of money and can keep themselves out of those situations by paying people off or being part of the elite. I said elite. I didn't say who. I didn't say what family bloodlines. I didn't say anything. You got to read between the lines. It's really, but let me just continue. Over time, this process is expected to drastically reduce the mosquito population, thereby curbing the spread of mosquito-borne diseases. Over time, this process is expected to drastically reduce the what population? Is it just mosquitoes with other things that they're doing? I'm just asking a question. You all are smart. You know exactly what I'm saying. This is the age of mass censorship. While the potential benefits of GMO mosquitoes are substantial, there are several concerns that cannot be overlooked. Potential for misuse. One of the most significant worries is the potential for these genetically modified mosquitoes to fall into the wrong hands. If these organisms were to be used as bioweapons, right? Didn't say they were. They can be engineered to spread harmful substances or diseases intentionally. The idea of weaponized insects is not new, but the advent of GMO technology makes it a more feasible and terrifying reality. Tuskegee, Tuskegee, you think they love you? Riri, how are you doing? I'm glad you're here. But you think they love you? You think they're not capable of doing that? We're speculating right now, YouTube. We're not saying they're going to do that with that. And I ain't scared of you. All right? Unintended health consequences. The long-term effects of being bitten by a GMO mosquito are not fully understood. Different individuals may react differently to substances introduced into their bodies, but they don't care. And what is harmless for one person might be detrimental to another. Given the variability in human physiology, this is a significant concern that needs thorough investigation. Disruption of ecosystems. Nature operates on a delicate balance, and the introduction of genetically modified organisms can have unforeseen consequences on ecosystems. The reduction or elimination of a mosquito species could disrupt food chains, affecting other species that rely on them for food. This can lead to a cascade of ecological consequences that we are not prepared for. Let me just stick something else in here. This is me talking now. I mean, that's the article and that's me, but I'm just saying that this is the freestyle. These entities, there must be some entities that hate nature. And like we've said, this is a spiritual battle. It's not just we want to wipe somebody off the face of the earth, which is something we're speculating on. We're not saying that this is what it is, but it's a parallel. Tuskegee, right? Syphilis, all different types of things. VIH backwards, right? Something's going on because something hates, may I say it, God. I'm not going to go and say, oh, I'm not saying the European anything. That system, that force, that entity that has created everything. Look, This thing did not happen by chance. And there is an entity out here that is extremely evil. Let's just say it. They want to destroy the planet piece by piece. Piece by piece. There must be another way to go after certain diseases. And this is a sneaky, sly way. You don't know what they're going to do. Now, with that little thing that made us wear the masks a couple of years ago, that's still supposed to be out there, but I don't hear anything about it, do you? I didn't say what it was, right? I'm going to watch some boxing tonight, and there's going to be a lot of jabs being thrown. Jabs, jabs, jab, if you know what I mean, right? What happened to that? Where did it go? Huh? Where is the love? Where is the love? But that was very much real. Who's to say that it won't manifest in some other way? Look, we've been experimented on for so long. Your baby's born, they cut the umbilical cord, they take the umbilical cord, and they rush the baby to another room where you can't even see your child. That's why when babies are born, you better have that father or family member there, and you better stay up on them like the fruit of Islam. Don't let them get away with anything. We've been experimented on for the longest time, and they don't have any regard for us. Go back to the days of slavery where they could do what they want to do, when they would cut the babies out of the mother's stomach. Is that a lie? Documented proof. They would do all types of things with us. They don't look at us as human. This may be a global thing that affects a lot of people other than black people, but whatever happens in the world is going to happen to us worse. And we're our own worst enemy because we don't keep up with things to know what can happen. I take this very serious because you know what? I almost died in May of 2019. And I believe I caught that malaria maybe 3 days before in the Volta region. Let me tell you something. You have some mosquitoes up there that you can throw a saddle on them and ride them. Big mosquitoes, straight bite me up. I'm trying to cover up. I put the lotion on, mosquito repellent. It's like the mosquito lifted up the sheets and got all up in my backside. Not literally there, but I'm just saying. So look, I almost died. You all know that. If you don't know the channel, you new here, I just have to tell you that my first trip to Ghana, when we came back, even before we got off the flight, before I got on the flight, I was feeling weird. And then when I got on the flight, I kind of slept through the whole thing, but in a chastised way. And then when we landed in New York, I couldn't talk right. I couldn't talk right. I don't get high. I don't use drugs. I don't use substances. I don't drink. But I started to talk to those around me. That's the way I sounded. Man, that thing scared me. I said, oh my God, I was thinking to myself, do I have a stroke? Right? And it felt like in my dome, in my brain, I could feel these electrical, it was almost like, I don't know if you remember this, if they still have it, where you go to a tourist spot, like maybe Disney or places in New York, and you get these little gadgets and stuff like that. You have those little click-clack balls that when you hit one side, it goes way over to the other. But they had this glass dome, right? This glass, like a crystal ball, like half of a, crystal, but like half, and it's glass. And it has these electrical, like little bolts of lightning inside of it. It's pretty cool. And if you touch one part of it, all the electricity goes to your finger, but you don't feel it. Well, that's what I felt going on in my head. And then when I got back, I didn't want to eat anything. Like I said, I went from 240 pounds to 214 pounds, 26 pounds within a week. Within a week. How do you lose that much weight? I didn't want to eat, but I was burning up. And the doctor said, hey, listen, I'm not supposed to say this, but there's something holding you up. It's not about how good you take care of yourself, because I can see at your age you've taken good care of yourself. But this is something more. I talked to my colleagues, and I never saw nothing like this before. It's like a plane nosediving, and before it hit the ground, 3 or 4 stories, it just turned and went right back up. Now, the people in that plane wouldn't live now, right? That's too abrupt. But I know the feeling of malaria to the point of almost dying, because he said if 12 more hours, we were giving you the medication, It was fighting it, but it kicked in finally and kind of pulled you out of death's door. And I saw with my own eyes, whether it was a spirit eye or whatever, I saw death's door. But it wasn't something scary to me. I didn't mind going through it. I didn't want to go through it, but it was so calming. And I was like, man, it's so peaceful in there. You know, and maybe it was my spirit. I'll speak about that another time. But the fact of the matter is, these people, I'm not saying any particular race, because we have some hateful ass people in with black folks. We do. We really do. And that's why I take each person on a person-to-person basis. I don't get fooled anymore with the cloak of, you know, Aquaba, or yes, my brother. But I got to really know who you are, because those are like a mask on Halloween, right? You can use that to get in, right? So many of us are so damn stupid and spiritually deficient that we don't look after things. And the very people that have a history of coming at us all kind of ways, Tuskegee, are the very ones that we give a pass to, because it must be all right because they are WHITE. And I ain't coming against all of them. Nobody gets a pass, okay? Black, white, Latino, Asian, nobody at this point with me. You got to show that you're really all about it. Nobody gets a pass. If you in, you in. If you were kicked out, don't come back. Because this is life. There's so many Benedict Arnolds and turncoats, even within our own race. Gifty Sine, I see you. She says, I'm going to put this up on the screen. The first malaria cases were diagnosed in Florida just after the release of these mosquitoes. There you go. Just after the release. Is this a trial run? Are they targeting certain cities? Can they control these things remotely? Or are they just wild like that? Did they ask permission of the people in the land that live there if it's okay? Did they announce this ahead of time? What's to stop them from sending these things over to the motherland, where with that thing that we had to wear the mask for, right? We had the lowest cases. And I'm here to tell you, a lot of people were wearing masks, but the majority of them weren't. And people were coughing and sneezing as usual. All the chochos close up to each other. And ain't nobody really, the numbers were so low. So I heard hints that, you know, look, anywhere black people are, we are the guinea pig. So let's think up a theoretical scenario that people want to tinker over here, because think of it this way. And I'm all over the place, but it's tying on in. If you're really on point, you know what I'm saying. Africa, the motherland, Al-Kebulan, right, has the youngest population in the world, regardless of race, the youngest. Now, a lot of us are brainwashed. A lot of us physically are the youngest, but we're operating under the colonial system, and we believe in the white Jesus and all of that stuff. So we're misled. But if somebody can really bring us back together through education, it's not going to be one person. It's not going to be one narcissistic revolutionary to come out here and lead the people, because they want what they want to. But collectively, can we give each other knowledge to know who the real enemy is? And it's not just a race, it's a spiritual battle. These people don't want anything. They're jealous of you when you could go out in the wild, which is not the wild, and pick a mango and fill your belly without paying money to somebody else in a system. I was looking at a video today that I found very interesting. And they were basically saying to work is demonic. To go to a job is demonic. And what do you mean by that? And then the person said, well, to start out. But ultimately, we should all be looking to do our own thing, because these things hold you and take your potential away from you after a while in the system. Okay, you got to get a leg up. I understand that. But at certain points, you have to work to get out of the system. It shouldn't be about a job. Well, what is it supposed to be about then, Scurv? You should be like your creator and create systems that you manage. It's not going to bring you a lot at first, but it will buffer you from being shackled to the system that you know you're supposed to get out of. But the only way to operate, and I know I'm not speaking about mosquitoes now, but I have to talk about this, because this video is not going to be long. It might be over in 10 minutes. I got to run out and do some things. It's late over here. It's 3:19 already. It's going to be dark at 6. Doesn't matter. I'm steamrolling today and I'm bulldozing today, because I'm going to come back and do something. I might do something out in the street. I don't know. You know, it's certain points in the fight. Say the fight is 15 rounds like it used to be. When you come out for that 15 round and it's a close fight, you letting it all hang out. But when we let it all hang out on social media that are owned by other people who really don't like us anyway, You got to be careful to tiptoe through the tulips. And that's frustrating. So this is why you need to check on Lancescurv.com, because there will be some posts that I have that contain audio that's not on any of these controlled social media platforms. But most people, they can't even figure out if it's live, but it's live. Or I didn't see you for 2 months. Where you at? And I keep telling people Lancescurv.com, because I have no other choice, because I can't speak the way I want to do. I want to speak. And like I said, most of us are spiritually deficient, and we're not going to get it as we run to the hedonistic pleasures of the world to get away from the pain. Pleasure doesn't mask pain. Being proactive will mask the pain. Deconstructing the system that's bringing you pain will stop the pain. You don't have a headache real bad and go to the candy store and eat Tootsie Rolls. What's that going to do? You're going to sugar up your body, and you're still going to have a headache. You got to ball up your fist, make sure you're grounded with your feet. And when the enemy comes at you, you swing with precision and you keep swinging. Have you ever seen anybody chop a tree with one chop? No, you don't even know how many chops it's going to take. Some big trees take less chops than the skinny ones that are more dense with the wood. You just keep chopping. You just keep chopping. Program yourself to do that. Program yourself to keep reading what's going on out in the world. Why are certain things in your algorithm that keep you in a certain mindset? What you need to do on YouTube or Rumble or Facebook is sign out. Do this on YouTube. Sign out of it, because they're giving you a specific algorithm because of what you like. If they can give you drugs on that, if you're into heroin, they're going to keep sending you heroin. They're going to keep sending you crack. If you're lustful, they're going to keep sending you these little nice shapely butts. I'm a man. I'm straight. I'm a proud straight black man. I'm not wonton no more, but a booty is a beautiful thing. It may not be for me, but it can also be turned around to a drug. The devil comes in a straight path. So let's not get it twisted. But the bottom line, sign out and see what YouTube is putting out there away from your algorithm. Read something from another country and what's going on there. Maybe you can relate something to what's happening to you. Maybe there's a parallel. All of these schisms and ways of being separated and all this stuff. We're the most separated race on the face of the earth. Sweet D, how are you with your beautiful avatar? Yeah, we're always going to be, look, the way they'll split us up, we're always going to be 13% of the population or 14% of the population in the United States. Because they're going to come up with another category for us to run to not be black. I can't stand that. Just because some slave master pumped a load in your great-great-grandmother, I'm sorry, I'm just going to let it all hang out. And you hold on to that more so than all the African blood that you got inside of you. I mean, when I was younger, you high yellow. And there's some people, well, you're mixed with something else. Yeah, I know. I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm against what happened. But I'm not parading around. Yes, I have Irish in me, and Scottish, and in Jamaica. There's a part of my family who had the last name McTavitt, Mick this. So McTavitt, Mr. McTavitt, was getting over. Shake what your mama gave you. Am I going to be proud of that? No, I'm angry at that. But I can't deny that. But in my soul, no matter how much this DNA mixed with that, the black and the melanin is so strong. And this is what they don't like. In my, I'm not going to say fear, right? But if I'm beginning to feel fear, and yeah, healthy fear is a thing. It makes you on point to react. Everybody feels fear. It's how you deal with it. And so we want to cloud ourselves in pleasure and escapism and substances and that big jar of Vaseline. I've had a jar of Vaseline in my life sometime. I ain't gonna lie. Most men do. But you got to put down all them things and turn around and face it, because these demons are punks and they like to work in underhanded ways to wipe us off. And they hate nature, AKA God. Because every time I walk in my yard and my feet are in the soil, on African soil, the richest soil on the earth, they don't like that. They don't like that I came here and I didn't leave with my tail between my legs. And there are people who are in this chat room right now and who are watching right now, whoever they may be, they know what I had to go through and I ain't letting go. And I am telling you, I'm not going Africa's the best thing I ever had, even though there's corruption here. Oh, no, no, no way. No, 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 no way. I'm probably not coming back to America, not even for a visit. I just want to be free. I was just talking to a sister. I ain't going to put a name out there. She's out here too, not too far, maybe 45 minutes away, right? She was saying the same thing. There are issues here. There are things you got to adjust to here. But all she wants to do, she's retired also, all she wants to do is be in her garden. Be in her garden and be peaceful in nature, otherwise known as the God force. Because if you never picked up a Bible before, if you don't even know how to read, and you're in nature, you've got to be closer to the God force. Because if you really look at it, the order of nature, the seasons in colder places, how nature works. Every insect has a task, a job, and they never go back. I never seen no ant with no rainbow colors on it. And you know what I'm talking about. And the original real rainbow is a beautiful thing. They even take that and make it mean something different. I mean, I was on Instagram I don't scroll a lot, but somebody sent me something. I scrolled up once or twice. And in Orlando, Florida, where I used to live for a couple of years, there was lots of rainbow. It's funny, you know, Orlando, Florida, Disney. Come on, y'all know what's no. I mean, it's all over the world. But there was a rainbow, and some guy was, yes, look, it's a beautiful rainbow. And I know exactly what road he was on because my bus went right there. Sand Lake Road and Turkey Lake Road, right there, right by that a Whole Foods joint there, a block away from International Drive. I know it well. The rainbow, see, even God is letting us know that no matter how much hate we get, he's condoning it. That rainbow was here before Sodom and Gomorrah, damn it. What are you talking about? And we bow down to this stuff, and when you see nature working its way out, you can't even absorb the lessons because you're too caught up in the daggone system created by these demons that want to keep you chained, want to keep you brainwashed. And you can't get enough of the filth that they're introducing. Talk about mosquitoes. I done went all the way around for mosquitoes. We're in around the world, But look at what they're inoculating our minds and the children's minds with. GMO content, genetically modified content, spiritually modified content. And your kids don't get shocked no more like we used to get shocked when we see certain things. We knew in our hearts certain things were just off in nature. And don't come and tell me I'm bashing nobody, but maybe I am in an indirect way. Now prove it. Our children are so numb to everything. I'm going to say it. I'm not going to say no curse word. I'm driving the bus. Many years ago when I was in America, and my ears were like satellite dishes for those conversations that I had that I heard before, and some of them I had. But there were young girls back there, 12, 13, 14. The oldest had to be 14. The youngest had to be 12. There's about 5 of them back there. The school they came from, it wasn't the usual high school you start at this age. 12, 13, and 14 with their little plaid dresses on, little ponytails on, little thick glasses from reading so much, and they look like straight nerds. And I've talked about this before. And there were other people, but they had their headphones on. And they were reading books or looking at magazines or just looking at things outside. They were gone. These girls are way in the back. But you got to understand, when you're the bus driver, you're sitting up high. Right? Indigo King, welcome on in. Reese, welcome on in. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Let me scroll up first. Chance Rogers, we scurving them today. Bulldozing and steamrolling. Impromptu. Let me tell you something. When I tried to set this show up, I had so much difficulty on the computer, and I had to just go straight to my phone, which a lot of times I'm going to go straight to my phone unless it's recorded. I mean, I'm not saying they are coming after me. I don't know what it is, but yesterday when I did the witchcraft show with Sister Wanda, man, we were cut off here and there, left and right. It was coming from her side. I got work going on. I got people making noise in the yard. You know, I don't care. I don't care. Well, like I said, they were in the back of the bus talking about the best way, 12, 13, 14, to administer, I'm going to say it this way, a blowjob. We're not talking about having a blower in the yard and we're blowing leaves away. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. They were babies. My God. And they knew what they were talking about. How did they know what they were talking about? Because the youngest boyfriend of that 12-year-old ever had, 12, 13, 14, well, one was 44, one was 37, but the 12-year-old was laying up with somebody 32 years old. 20 years, her senior. Man, wait a second, these are babies. So how are you going to research GMO mosquitoes and think about stuff on a global level, how it affects us as a people and how we should unify when you've got nasty ass grown men? How did you groom them? They didn't just, how you doing? I'm going to give you some money and take you to the mall and take you to McDonald's and do this for me. You've been doing it. And I know a man I used to work with who been doing, I know I used to be, I'll go back to mosquitoes. We're going to flow. I know a dude I used to work with that was grooming his stepdaughter. Grooming her from 3 and 4 years old, 5 and 6 years old. And when she ended up pregnant and didn't want to say who the daddy was, so this is real. After a while, they figured it out. And she don't want nobody else because she's so groomed and messed up in the head. So with us being so messed up as a people and don't want to clean our own yards, how come you want to go to somebody else's backyard and dirty up their yard and throw the plates down when your place is nasty? We're spiritually deficient. We can't even understand. These videos ain't going to get much hits. I don't hear about no GMO. I want to see who Diddy was sucking off. And they're going to keep you there. I'm not saying you have to be a super nerd and read scientific journals and forget all that stuff. Those things catch me too. Something pops up in my timeline and you want to, it's only a minute, you want to see how it ends up. That's how it snags you. So imagine a generation of children who are growing up in this thing and they know nothing else. Their brains are wired a certain way. This is why they can't read books. It's too long. Read a paragraph, they can't read a paragraph. Do you see how they're rewiring us and have us as sitting ducks and taking their time? They don't care about no damn mosquito. Or just get some mosquito repellent, that's it. And you fast asleep and it's biting you up on your ear, your ankles, and your balls. And now you're sick. And now something's wrong with you. Because I want to say it a certain way. Remember, there's things that we have felt we had the right to not take into our body, as these are our bodies, and we have the right to. Actually, you go to the restaurant and you see fried chicken, and fried chicken turns your stomach. And some white man comes in, I'm from this authority, and you must eat fried. I'm not eating no damn fried chicken. I came in here to eat what I eat. Leave me alone. I'm living my life. But for putting stuff in your body, people are going to tell you what to do. And if they can't, read between the lines now, if they can't, that's what made me pissed off when I heard about the GMO mosquitoes. They may say now that we're using it to combat certain things. And then certain things turn up as Gifty shared with us. But what's the next sinister thing? You trust these people? Let's jump to another story that's related to this about trusting these people. And again, I am not saying everyone. And the ones who are true will be very vocal about it because it's a global thing. It's a humanity thing. And those of us in the Black community who are pro-Black really ain't about it anyway. You're trying to either get some more money, or you're trying to get some more attention, or you're trying to get some more ass, or all of the above. Well, I'm getting attention. I'm getting money. Ooh, I'm getting me a lot of ass. That's basically what it is. Don't you know I know? Don't let the amount of subscribers that I have fool you. I've been around the block for a little while. Ask about me. I've been here. I'm like that nosy old lady sitting across the street. She go to church, but I'm not a gossip, but I see everything like that lady. You leaving with that girl now, but I think there's another one coming an hour later. He hurried up to get her on out of there. Oh, look at the pastor over there. He bought that new car, telling everybody in the neighborhood that he don't have no money, but he's getting his money from the church. I see it all. There are many people who you follow now. You swear up and down their prophets. You swear up and down their saints. You swear up and down they're about the business of Black. But they are the business of Black. They're not doing this from the ground up because they wake up in the morning with a sense of urgency. And then you listen to them jokers more, and they ain't about it. Look, you know so much about me. You don't know my social security number. You don't know how many hairs are around my anus, but you know everything else about me, basically, over the years. And I've been transparent. I don't understand it. I'm done trying to convince people. I'm going to talk to the people who get down with me. And if I'm wrong in something, bring me the facts, and I'll apologize, and I'll get up on another video and say, I was wrong. But these people hate nature. They hate nature, which if you hate nature, you hate God. What do you call it? What do you mean? Oh, God. Shut up. Because you ain't following no divine laws anyway. So don't come to me to argue with me about God. I ain't no preacher. I'm a man. I love my wife. I was walking down the street the other day. I saw this girl's backside. I'm sorry. I had to turn around. It was a marvel of nature. It wasn't even lust. It's like, how do you have dimensions like this? But I tell it. I tell it. I'm not fronting. I ain't no homo, but there was a dude who works out and he's a bodybuilder. I said, damn, homeboy is in great shape. And I looked at his body because that's what I used to do. I ain't looked at his body and thought, that's a Negro, man. That's a dude. No way. So what I'm saying is that we got to be real with ourselves. We got to clear off the cobwebs and all this foolishness. And that's why right now I talk about everything. I'm not going to just stay in this one mode. If it affects us, it affects us. We got to talk about it. But to sit here and try to convince black people, oh, you need to listen to this. Oh, you need to, oh, whatever. No, they're marching along with the enemy. They're being led to slaughter. They're being led to the cage. And they ain't really free now because their minds are on standby to be a modern day slave. Their minds are on standby. It's like when you see the red light turn to the yellow light, you got your foot on the gas and the car's easing up a little bit because you know it's coming soon. You're going to get that green light. You think these people can get away from the creature comforts of being up under their former slave master and current slave master who hates nature, who hates when you respect your woman, who hates when the woman respects the man and treats him like a king and he treats like a queen, and you can do that. And I'm going to say this also. You can't treat every woman like a queen. Some of these women don't want to be queens. They're not queen material. They want to be thoughts and hoes and bitches. Now, I'm going to get that money. I don't queen nothing. I'm going to reserve that feeling for those who earned it and deserve it. And when you have the gift of discernment, you can look a woman or a man in his eyes to see if he's worthy of certain things. So stop wasting our time with this age-old, look, the age-old blueprint of what many who've come before us follow. Look at Malcolm X. I'll even throw Dr. Martin Luther King in it because he was getting hip to certain things, right? He was getting his Malcolm X on. They said, oh no, if he pulls the people who follow him in Christianity and he goes that way, we got to get rid of him. But what would they say if they came back now? What would they say? That they gave their lives, and not only that, not just them two, but the countless hundreds of thousands of black people in America who walked during the bus boycott, who didn't hardly have shoes, they were so poor, and they still felt the connectedness. Can you let go of the creature comforts that you love so much for the bigger cause? How many of us can do that? But they got GMO mosquitoes, and the more they put our images out on the news, this one murdered this one. Look, Miss Scurv sent me something about this dude, about 28 years old. He fought in my old neighborhood. Not ultimately, but I had an apartment on Texas Avenue in Rio Grande. I know that street so well. And you got a lot of kooks around there. I'm not damning a whole neighborhood, but yo, I'm telling you straight up, it is somewhat, it looks nice, but it's kind of downtrodden, right? A lot of Section 8 going on over there, but it's kind of in the ways of how people act. I just wanted to get the apartment close by to the jail because if my car broke down in a clinch, I can walk, and it was a long walk. And when they would have me come in early, when I was shadowing the officers before I went into the academy to see if it was a job that I wanted to do, they kept me shadowing for 2 months because I took to it like a duck to water. I know how to talk to people. I had better skills than some of the guys that were there for 20 years, but I would have to walk, and there were things that were going on. You see, they had drug dealers out there. They had transvestite hookers and regular crackheads and people. I'm walking through the neighborhood with my uniform on. Didn't know they, man, you crazy? I said, listen, for the next week, my car is out. Well, let me come pick you up, man. They will shoot you out there just for the uniform alone. But when I was in there and I saw what was going on and I saw the things, it wasn't anything new that I didn't see in New York City. But that neighborhood there, this 28-year-old dude, and on later on, I can't put it in the chat room because I can't do it right now. I'm not on the computer. I'm just on the phone. I'll put it on Lancescurv.com. You'll see that link at the top of the chat room. I'll add any extra links in there. If there's something I mentioned I forgot, just say, hey, Lance, don't forget about putting this here. 28-year-old dude followed behind this 12-year-old girl. I'm looking at the videotape that came from surveillance cameras that they strung together, calmly walking down the street. So calm, if I walk past, I'm like, hey, what's up, man? You know, you keep on going, you know, shake your head up. What's up? And he followed this girl for a long time and bludgeoned her and killed her. 28 years old. What the hell is wrong with us? But somebody come to you of a different hue that don't look like you ain't doing a damn thing if they try to do something to your little sister. What the hell? We're supposed to be warriors, man. We're supposed to be mighty. We're supposed to be on point and on code. And I hate to say the on code thing because that's a temporary thing for most people in the chat rooms and the comments. Yeah, we got to be on code. But what are you doing with your life every day to make everything better, to bring some awareness, to bring some motivation? 95% of most black, and I'm being nice. Let's say 98% of them. I'm saying this from experience, and maybe you might think my numbers are a little too high. No, let's check. 98.5 ain't doing shit. They get mad when something happens to one of the children in the neighborhood, and they get one of these hand-picked leaders. Al Sharpton's too old, and he's probably spending more time with his boyfriend. I hope James Brown don't get mad. He's deceased. I guess I'll have to find somebody. But he parades around with the girls at the meetings and stuff. You know, oh, that's his girlfriend. Jesse Jackson, he losing his mind. He's Joe Biden'd out, right? All the dirt that these people have done. But we listen to them when they say their little nursery rhymes. They just make up stuff off the top of their head and ain't no action coming. Ain't no action coming behind it. Listen, you know I grew up loving Minister Louis Farrakhan. I'm not going to say nothing bad about him, but I'm kind of disappointed. And I'm more so disappointed in us that we couldn't take what he said in his time. But I happen to know more things. I'm not going to broadcast it out there to the delight of the slave master. And I still agree with most of what he says. But you can't unknow something when you find out. I'm not attacking him. I'd love to meet him. I almost had a chance. I missed by 5 minutes when I had Akbar Muhammad on the phone. He had the minister on the phone. He said, oh, man, you know, the minister could have came on and joined me. I was like, oh, man. I was so upset. You know, sometimes you're upset and your anus clenches up. It clenched up. I thought I had a problem. I couldn't go to the bathroom for 2 days. I'm like, man, I'm so upset. Unbelievable. Look at all this noise going on here. You can't hear it, but it is something personal, right? Yeah, when you at the cookout, all the flies come out and try to land in your plate. And you take a little piece of chicken, a piece of something, French fry, put it on the table. They don't want that one. They want to mess up what you're doing. That's how they do. These people, I'm done. I'm done with 98.5%. Sounds like a radio station. 98.5. We don't mess with niggers no more. I'm just dealing with righteous black people, African people, African-minded people. Even if you don't want to move to Africa, even if you don't want to move to the motherland, damn it, have an Afrocentric mindset. Stop listening to these lip gloss wearing former pimps who are still pimps, coming with something new because of the documentaries of information you could have researched and got off of YouTube, but now they want to say, oh, I'm FBA, and infuse so many lost people to go against each other, making fun of Africans, making fun of people from the Caribbean. But then you have people who, oh, I'm indigenous. I ain't got nothing to do. Nobody want nothing to do with Africa. But if you don't want nothing to do with Africa, damn it, put your cell phone down and don't use it. If you don't want nothing to do with Africa, all the things that come from here, reject it. You reject the name, but you take the products. You like that dude who met this chick who's 400 pounds. You don't want to walk down the street with her, but you'll surely call her up 2 in the morning because she gives some good head. And you sitting there toes spreading out. Oh, baby. Oh, God. This feels so good. Oh, God. Whatever. At least me, when I would mess with somebody who was 300 pounds, I'd walk down the street. Well, yes, I had. There was some heavy-set chicks back in the day that were nice. Young, I never shunned nobody. Well, I can't walk down the street with you. That's how you treat those who you really need to be supporting. The propaganda put out here. This is why folks some folks don't talk to me no more because I'm out here. I show the downtrodden areas, and I haven't even shown enough of the areas that you would say are modernized. You get there's some areas here, you're like, oh damn. I gotta soon go to the bank. I gotta go to Echo Bank. My account kind of expired because I just still use my stuff from America, but I have to have stuff here now because I'm getting myself ready for certain things here. If you go in that building, you don't see nothing like that in America. You don't see nothing. The AC, how clean everything is, how modern everything is. I'm like, what? But I never was ignorant to that fact. But I'm gonna take my little camera, and if I can't take the camera, oh, you can't record here. I'm gonna be on the phone, act like I'm talking to somebody, and hold it and make you see. It may not be professional looking video, but I'll make you see. And that's why people don't like that. Then you got the people who come here and they don't want to take the whole of it, to embrace. You see what I mean? So then you got the people who come here and turn their nose up at those who are here. What the hell are you coming here for? Why don't you turn your nose up at the downtrodden black people in America? Why are you coming here to get your superior fix on? Get your fix on. Dun, 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 dun. I'm white for a day because these Africans are so poor, I can feel rich. And they run around me and wipe off my shoes and wipe the sweat off my brow and want to do things with me for nothing, next to nothing. Seriously. And they look to us for something more because they see us as something more, but we take advantage. But at the same time, many here will try to take advantage of you. Look how the economy is here. See, we need more dialogue with each other as opposed to listening to these dudes push this separation thing. If a doctrine is not about ultimate unity, it's wrong and it's tainted and it's evil. With us, anything that someone spews, we can talk about the issues, we can talk about the problems, we can talk about the challenges, we can talk about the differences, we can get emotional and we can be a little ignorant, but allow the other person on the other side to break it down and say, it's not like this. Why are we just depending on the algorithms that are tainted to make us think that those over here in the motherland are inferior? You know how many people, how many students are getting scholarships and setting records all over the world and being acknowledged for their intellectual, who may have come from a poor village, but they had the stick-to-itiveness. They didn't have the modern amenities, and some have. You know how many billionaires are over here? They don't want you to know that. You know how much potential for business is here? You know how much land you can get? You're paying damn near $1 million on a mortgage. At least $500,000. You go to any hood and try to buy something that's already there, already built, that you don't even like the way it looks because it was built. Wasn't built according to your taste. Oh yeah. Well, I'll show you Africa. Look, I'm gonna show you my view right now. I'm upstairs, I ain't gonna talk so loud, there's gonna be a little bit of noise. Look, I'm not fronting. Let me show you what you would love to wake up to every morning. I'm gonna talk a little low. I'm gonna do this just for Gifty. Yes, I am. Now you might assume that, look, I'm all hairy and I didn't shave. I'm gonna hold it sideways so you don't catch me like that. Okay? I'm gonna open up the cam and let me go to the other side where the banner is. I'm going to show you what I'm looking at right now. Why do you think I sleep so good? Okay, here, boom. Okay. Let's turn it sideways. All right. What am I looking at? Where's the hood? Excuse me for not painting the rails yet. We still have tile work to do on that balcony. I got a balcony below this. This is not bragging. I'd be slaving somewhere in a job and wouldn't be able to afford this. Look at this. This is what I wake up to every morning. I'm in my master bedroom bathroom right now. which is not complete. And I have my equipment in here because I have workers in the house and I don't want to get dust on the stuff. See? This is what I see. And I got to go up that road up there, onto the town, the clouds. At nighttime, the clouds come down. You got a wall all the way around the place. Secured. Mangoes, papaya, pineapple, avocados, potatoes, all kind of stuff, cocoa yams in the ground, all type of fruits that they do not have in America. That's sweet and good for you, right? So I gave you a little taste. I ain't gonna hold this up forever now. Right, let me go hit this thing again. Yes, I gotta hook you up, Gifty. And I'm on the phone. Let me close this window again. It's beautiful where I am. It's beautiful, pennies on a dollar, but you got to be willing to sacrifice depending on what your financial is. Let me go back to the chat. Remember, I'm on my phone. I can't hit the wrong button. You're right. Everybody, most of our people have lost their way, Reese. Good Grand Rising Earth Angel. The girls wearing pimp. Yeah, you know who that is. Yeah. Green Paradise. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It's the 3rd floor, right? There's 2 more floors, but I'm telling you, I would not be able to afford this exact thing if I was in with what I was making. I would have to slave. And if I could tell you that going more into the country, 20 minutes away, there's land so affordable and you can make payments. Trust me, they ain't gonna tell you that. They want you there in their system. We have the internet that may get shut down occasionally, and it may get shut down all the way. But can you live efficiently? What if you get solar power and you don't need electric to pay for it? Right? What if you get a borehole to bore down into the mountain to pull up well water that's so pure, there's nothing you can buy in a plastic bottle in New York that's more, not just New York, I'm thinking about New York where I grew up, right? In America or UK, better than that mineral-rich water for free. Just pay for the borehole and the pump to pull it up. Now you got light for free. You got to pay for the system. Now you got to pay for the borehole. You get the land. You take your time, and you get the cinder blocks. You can have somebody make them. My wall was made with 2 molds the shape of cinder blocks. And I had 2 brothers come up here, and they lived here for weeks and poured concrete with their hand. And it was quick dry concrete, and that's that wall you see going around this whole place. So I'm good and I'm content. I don't have that burning that I had, not the usual burning most people have, but I got to keep up. The bills are coming. What bill? What mortgage? What rent? Huh? They keep you there. Like the video said, working, earning is where it's at. And you have to work to get yourself a foothold to get out of it. But when you're working, you have to have a damn plan. And all them hours I was sitting there driving the bus on days that I didn't want to go out there and drive the bus. And I saw people on vacation. Huh? Yeah, and that's real. I ain't showing my face because I ain't shaved for 2 days. You know, I don't like to have hair on my face and on my head. When I show my face, I'm a little vain that way. Not necessarily vain, but I'm professional. I'm professional and a little funky too. I got a shower after this show because I put in some work early and I'm really hungry too. And I have to go out. No problem. And guess what? If I go out, pretty much 99.99% of the time, ain't nothing going to happen to me. They don't do it that way out here. And there are some crimes. If I'm some nerdy guy walking around a park where things are very hungry with lots of cash hanging in my back pocket, somebody might snatch it. But then again, I've had people return things to me. I had a very expensive tripod. I was over there in the area called Adenta. Those who follow the channel, some of those videos are lost, but I used to go by this overpass and angle it where you can see the traffic behind me, and I would talk for a little while. Nobody bothered me. It got really dark, and so I had to put my equipment away. I was done. I got the footage. I'm going to take the van coming on up because right now I'm not driving. Don't need to drive. I'm free. I don't need no tune-up. I don't need no rotation or whatnot. My wheels are my feet, and I love it. Next year is a different story. But I was so caught up in how I was going to edit this and title it. I love it. It gives me life. It gives me a purpose. Not that I don't have a purpose, because look what we've done building this place, right? I walked away and left my tripod. I folded it up and everything and leaned it up against the wall. I walked all the way down to the edge of the trestle. And I was walking fast. I was so scared, but I think I had to go to the bathroom. I wanted to find a tree that was to my liking. So once I heard somebody yelling, hey, 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 brother, brother. But there was a lot of noise there. It was a major intersection, cars honking horns and people, laughing and talking, music playing, festive. So I got like off the trestle and half a block down, and this dude is screaming. He ran and tapped me on the shoulder, brother, you left your instrument. He really didn't know what it was folded up, right? I said, what? I said, brother, thank you so much. And I hugged him. And I started to put my hand in my pocket, because that particular tripod that I got from America, I would have had to order it again, have it shipped out here, and pay a whole lot of money. So I was going to really bless this brother for his heart more so. I was going to, look, I'm not rich, but sometimes you got to bless somebody who does something for you and shows that kind of heart. I'll go all out for somebody like that. Now, the exchange rate right now is 1 for 15, but I think around that time it was like 1 for 6 or 7, $1 American dollar for 7 or 8 CDs. I was going to give him 100 CDs, which for so many people could be a day's pay. For me, I'm not rich, but I'm good. And as I handed him this money, he said, oh, no, brother, you're my brother. And I have to answer to God. And if I was to take your instrument and sell it somewhere, because I know it is worth money, but I know it's even more worth something to you. And for you to be out here this time of night talking about it, I saw girls walk by. You didn't put the camera on their backside. You didn't look at them any kind of funny way. You were giving a message. And I think I recognized your face. In actuality, he did. He didn't follow me or anything, but he saw me before. I hugged him again. I said, are you sure, brother? Can I get you something to eat? He says, no, I'm a little hungry right now, but I have food at home, and I wouldn't make you spend 1 CD, which is like the equivalent of $1, even though it doesn't have the same value. I wouldn't make you spend 1 CD over what you have. God will bless me. Now, I said, brother, I'm going to tell a little joke. If I was hungry, I would have took something for the food. And he laughed. I hugged him again. And every now and then I'll see him. Hey, brother, keep up the good work. Because I gave one of my cards he follows now. One day he might leave a comment on this. I am the brother that he was talking about. This is what we need to have. What's wrong with that? There's some people, see, I still have mosquitoes. I'm all over the place. And I don't care. Tuskegee. No matter what they do, they got something underhanded. And it's not paranoia. We can't take our physical, mental, spiritual strength for granted. And we can't take it for granted by being in the system, sucking on this sugar, sucking on things we ain't supposed to behind closed doors. Suck the right thing. Ain't nothing wrong with sucking. Don't suck the wrong thing. You know what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about. No. Do what's right. And you receive more pleasure. Let me tell you something. You ever eat sweets every day? Like you finally got a little older and you didn't have to listen to the dictates of those who raised you. And you're like, I get out there, I'm gonna have chocolate cake every day. Well, guess what? Let me do an experiment with you. If you like chocolate cake so much, we're gonna give it to you every day for a month. I bet you after 3 or 4 days, you wouldn't want to see no chocolate cake when you get up in the morning time and you see it sitting on the table for breakfast, the same kind, the kind you like, then lunch, then dinner. And after a day and a half, your backside is clogged up. You got to have the force of a daggone nuclear explosion to get that stuff up out of you. You strain it, dehydrated. It don't even taste sweet no more. That's how sin is. See, when you're innocent of sin, it's sweet. I'm not saying it's good for you, but I'm telling you realistically, it's sweet. It's ooh. I got that girlfriend and she don't want to do nothing with me. Oh, but that good looking girl, she told me to meet her on the side of the house where it's dark. And we gonna do what we got to do. And it felt so good. That's how they hook you like the first shot of crack. A different kind of crack. But it's on your mind all the time. And now you're looking at your girlfriend who is marriage worthy. Good woman. But because she ain't putting out and going to your lower desires, you don't like her no more. And you know what? The stuff she got, not just the obvious orifice, But the overall thing is sweeter because it takes more than one gear to operate a vehicle. Imagine I tell you to drive from New York to California in the nicest Rolls Royce, but you only can go in first gear. You'd be like, man, we ain't never gonna get there. You understand? That's the bottom line. Oh man, listen, I gotta head out of here. I gotta wash. I'm righteously funky, but I had to do this first. And I know it's a lot earlier over there in America. I know right now, if it is 4 o'clock here, it's got to be 12 noon in on the East Coast and 3 hours before that for the West Coast. So, but I'm a 24-hour guy and never hesitate to reach out to me. Sometimes I get so many messages that I may skip one or miss one. Not skip it, but just miss it because it keeps getting pushed down. All the contact information is down there. This was a freestyle, obviously. I read a little bit from the article, and I can read a little more. But the article is on the top of the chat room. If you want to read the details about it, read it. But you know, after a while, this is Saturday, I become unhinged sometime. I become the cerebral version of the Incredible Hulk and just go off and bust out my shirt. You got to have that life force inside of you for the righteous things of the world, and you have to run to it. Look, I have all kind of memories in my head about meeting that girl on the side of the house in the middle of the night when she had a mini skirt on, her father was out of town. Yeah. And sometimes some things try to come back and tap me on my shoulder. I'm like, no, I built this up. I got myself to this point. What you gonna do when you leave this earth and you don't have a penis or a clitoris to pleasure you? Huh? This is a launching pad. We are in these bodies. Food tastes good. Sex tastes good. Sleep feels good. Going to the bathroom feels good. I'm not no doodle freak, but when you gotta go, say, ain't nobody go, oh my God, this is so terrible. Even when you have them one-ply accents, you go, oh my God, I'm so disgusted. It's your doo-doo. Wipe your hand off and keep on stepping. If not, you see an enemy, don't wipe your hand and shake their hand and laugh. Other than that, it's a good life. But now there's so much sugar, so much salt, so much preservatives added on to the things that we should enjoy moderately that we're addicted to these things. And like I spoke on the HIV show, how we just taken sex to a whole new level. It's not even about sex anymore. We're demonically possessed. This is not normal. Clean yourself up. Look, I still got to clean up. I'm not preaching to nobody. I'm just here with you in the trenches of life, dealing with my own sugar honey iced tea, resisting things. I look at a jar of Vaseline and have memories when things were not going so good. I was a kid. Lancey, where's the Vaseline? Why is it in your room? And what are those magazines doing under the bed? I'm human. I'm no saint. That's why I can relate to everybody. And you don't have to agree or say the same things I do. I'll be the sacrificial lamb because it purges me. No way would I want to come off as the prophets and I will lead you. And please, y'all, some of y'all know. Some of y'all know. And if I have to pull up this platform from the dirt, meaning that starting all over again, while the content is saved, I'm just waiting for Starlink to come out here. And I can have unlimited downloads and unlimited uploads and all that stuff. Right now, I got to pay as I go, and I wear down a lot of gigabytes. Gigabytes, a lot. So it's a constant thing. I may have to go down and top it off tonight. It's okay, because this is what I do. I'm not in the bar. I'm not saying I'm self-righteous now. I'm not the bar, I'm not the whorehouse, but I love, and you saw, look, when nighttime comes and what you saw on the other side of the mountain, you ain't going out for nothing. You better do what you do. You can come from the city and come up here, but you're not walking out to no corner store, especially with some of these animals that are running around here. Nothing super dangerous, only the snakes. I don't know if you saw on my Instagram, maybe like a year ago, there was a python on my top balcony, right where you saw it from. How do I get up there? And it came down. It wasn't bothering anybody. From what I heard, it was cool at that time at night. A lot of the clouds were cool. The moisture was cool, and it was seeking some heat to come out. But in them bushes that you just saw, they got some pythons. They got some king cobras. Now, you don't want to mess with them, but it's not like it's common. They don't really mess with you. Plus, it helps that my property is walled off, so it kind of helps those things. But down there, I'm not, no. And you got these brothers who were born and raised up here. And they singing these songs, walking through them things. Like Richard Pryor said, snake. Me, I'm running. I'll probably turn around and fall down, and the snake ain't even paying me no mind. You know? But it's your spirit. And I'm going to wrap it up on this. When you know your purpose in this world, and you know what it is, not what you want to be, but you know what it is God ordained, trust me, you have a purpose, you will be preserved. You're not just going to have an easy life. You see, this life is a training camp for eternity, and it's also a placement exam for eternity. This bad boy goes by quick. My memory is real good. And 30, 40 years ago, I was talking to a friend of mine, Sly Ty, and we were speaking about the things in the gym, and I told him how much I remember about the guys we used to train with, what they wore, what they said, how they reacted with each other. He couldn't believe it. He's like, man, you took me back there, right? And I learned something. I have to put it out there. There's a brother named Leon Brown, the legendary Leon Brown. Google Leon Brown, bodybuilder. Good friend of mine. I just haven't had a chance to speak to him as much since he's friends with everybody. Gets along with everybody. He's a good friend of Arnold Schwarzenegger's, and he never really reached his super duper potential because in the 70s, his mother passed away, and it kind of affected his mind. But he loved bodybuilding. He would talk with anybody. When he recently passed away, Arnold Schwarzenegger broke down and cried so hard. And I recently found out, and I said to Ty, I said, listen, I have to tell this story. This has nothing to do with what I was talking about. Arnold Schwarzenegger, every time Leon Brown had a birthday, he'd fly him out to California. Now, he was working, Leon Brown, you know, and he was much older now, but he was a little younger than, I think, a little younger than Schwarzenegger. He'd fly him out to California, and this was without any fanfare, buy him a damn near new wardrobe, because he was a little touched by what, you know, emotionally, you know, but he was not simple stupid, but just a simple man who didn't need the bravado. But everybody from that era in bodybuilding knew how great he was. And he continued to compete into older age. And he wasn't what he was, but he loved it so much. And if you had a question and you were a novice, he would sit down and talk with you. Personal trainers didn't like it because, like, how are we going to make money with Leon giving all this information away for free? But Arnold Schwarzenegger wanted to pay for his funeral. And many years ago, when it seemed like he needed a little boost before he got that job, he said, listen, Arnold Schwarzenegger said this. This is a story you're not going to hear anywhere else. He offered Leon not some hole-in-the-wall joint, but a gym so huge and modern, and the money to put it together with all the equipment, pay for it several years in advance, and take care of his health care and everything. Who does that? With all these fake prophets out here. I am for black people, and I'm, what? You ain't digging in, and all of us don't have it like that. But you won't even break bread with a little bit that you have. I have a loaf of bread, and you hungry? Look, I'm gonna eat a half, and you're gonna eat a half. You know what I mean? I don't eat certain things. I was so hungry the other day, I didn't even go out to do any shopping. And certain fruits are not growing right now. They're starting to, and you know, you can get certain things, but things weren't right. So I had a piece of bread. I eat that with some water because I have a tendency to like wait till the last minute. It's no problem. But he offered to help him, and Leon didn't refuse, but he didn't want to take advantage. And he was insisting, and he wanted to pay for the funeral. I don't know how that went. You know what I mean? He probably did, but Leon Brown had nothing other than his love for bodybuilding, his love for people, and Schwarzenegger saw that. And there's a lot of bad stories out there, you know, saying that he's racist and all this and all that. I don't know about that. Maybe he called somebody a nigger, but he didn't treat Leon Brown like that. And Leon Brown, I know him real good. If he saw me now, if he was like, Lance, what's going on? Because he don't forget anybody. He was always honest. Be that person like Leon Brown. Be that pure soul. Be that person who will help somebody if you sense that you have been blessed and you could bless them also. Because when you leave, you're not going to take any of it with you, but the memory of what you did. I don't have a lot of money, but people say, oh, you built that big. Look, we sold our house, man, and took everything and came out here and dropped it. Let me tell you something. Here's the reality. Let me tell you something. I couldn't afford to move back to America. With what? Let's talk adult. I'm like the old Viagra-aided man who shot his load. That's it, baby. You getting one out of me. I shot my load. Me and Mrs. Scurv shot our load coming out here. Right? Got ripped off. Things were tight sometimes, whatever. But we here. And we're here to do what we're supposed to do. And we're on the upswing. That's a fact, and that's for sure. But when you know your purpose and what you have to do, you cannot let any lean times or hardships or betrayal from people who are two-faced around you, who told the world that you all are together, and they want it all for themselves. No, let them go and forge forward. That's why when I was walking 15 miles up that dark road up here in the mountains, past where I live, you see the mountain, you see the houses on the other side. Past here ain't too much houses. It's just mountain and road. And what you saw is not mountain. That's the other side of the hill. My side and that side is on top of a mountain. So if you go behind me on that road and you look down, you're going to see something. You got to go over to the edge and look down and see the birds flying. They ain't fly. Ain't enough oxygen up there for them to fly. They stay down there. So this is why my energy level is up high. I'm in thinner air. And when I go down to town on flatland, I'm a walking fool. I mean, man, what am I getting all this energy for? This is why a lot of boxers go to California and Big Bear and train there up in the mountains where it's thinner. So I can talk for days now. I'm acclimated to this air in this place. But yeah, I couldn't afford to move back unless I put up some kind of sub and said, please, y'all, I want to come back. My goal is this again. And the prices of things are, no, I'm good. I'll travel and visit. I'm on this side of the world. I want to travel all over the world as I can. I worked all my life. Come on, man. You work all your life, and what you mean I'm rich? That's a lot of poor mentality people that think that. You can do whatever you want to do. If you have enough desire and it's for you to do and it's ordained, it shall be done. There's so many people who are mad at me because I came out here. They said we couldn't do it. People turned on me and no, you're on your own and all that bull crap. And the blessings are coming. I'm just happy and content to be here. And if I can uplift you and motivate you, as long as you're not part of the Nigger News Network, if you're those black people who understand who we are globally, I'll never turn my back on you. See? So anyway, blissfully too, welcome. Right. Yeah. Wow. You recorded Starlink? Wow. Yeah, it's out here already, but I just have to wait for this region. And they have the Starlink Mini. I'm itching to get this thing. And the studio is being worked on beautifully. There's certain people here who saw it. Ain't ready yet. Man, I feel like that contender who knew he can beat the champion for 5 years, and I'm finally getting my shot, and I'm bouncing because I'm like on the other side of the ring, waiting for the bell to ring. So all the naysayers, eat your heart out. And it's not about that, because I'm not caught up into any kind of thing to throw off on anybody. I'm sincere. And those who are with me, when it's time to come on out, you know you got a place to go. Anyway, just want to say much love to you all. I'm going to sign off now. I'm going to be out there when it's dark. It's okay. I'm safe. And many people out there know me, so it's no problem, right? So I hope you enjoyed it. To read the rest of the article on mosquitoes, just go to the top of the chat room. It's there. It's on Lancescurv.com. And I'll try to remember the links I spoke about. I'll take care of those things later. I got to get out of here and get myself together and take care of some business, and I'll be back. And I'll probably nap a little bit and get up and throw something else. And when I go down there, trust and believe, I have my little camera. If I can catch something, I'm going to share it with you. All right? Much love to you all. Take care. I hope you enjoyed my rant. There'll be a whole lot more. All right? Peace. Much love.